It's Monday morning, the customary day for laundry, and Amish families have been active since before sunrise. They stand ready to confront mountains of clothing using methods passed down through generations. Given their large families, often with 7 to 8 children, laundry transcends a simple chore. It becomes an event spanning the entire day, drawing family members together in a meticulously organized sequence of washing, wringing, and drying. The unassuming wringer washer holds a place in Amish households as common as a smartphone does in those of the English, the term the Amish use for non-Amish individuals. These dependable machines find particular favor in the more traditional, old-order Amish communities, like those situated in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and Holmes County, Ohio. While they might strike outsiders as relics from a bygone era, these devices are remarkably clever in their functional simplicity. Here's the essence of how wringer washers operate. They are fundamentally a sizable metal tub equipped with a central agitator and a pair of rollers at the top. The Amish typically power these machines using gas engines or compressed air, as electricity is generally not permitted. You might find the water consumption surprising. Each load demands approximately 15 to 20 gallons. The majority of Amish families draw their water from wells or natural springs on their land. Some communities have even established sophisticated gravity-fed water systems that pipe spring water directly into their dedicated wash houses. Pretty smart, wouldn't you say? Regarding wash houses, these are the typical locations for these machines. Usually it's a small outbuilding distinct from the main house, and take my word for it, on laundry day, it transforms into the most bustling hub on the entire farm. The advantages offered by these washers are quite noteworthy. They utilize less water compared to modern appliances. I'd wager you didn't anticipate that. Clothing endures longer due to the gentler washing action without excessive tumbling, and they are relatively easy to repair should a malfunction occur. What I appreciate most is the ability to actually observe your clothes being washed, unlike the hopeful uncertainty associated with modern machines. However, the process isn't without its difficulties. These machines do have their drawbacks. Firstly, vigilance is required around the wringer mechanism. It's decidedly unforgiving if one's fingers happen to get entangled. Ouch. The entire operation demands significantly more time and physical effort than simply loading clothes into an electric washer. And during the winter months, well, suffice it to say, laundering clothes in an unheated wash house doesn't align with anyone's notion of an enjoyable activity. Yet, as my Amish acquaintance Sarah once shared with me, the harder you work for something, the more you appreciate it. Speaking of strenuous effort, let's discuss hand-cranked agitators, the kind of bicep toning exercise that no Amish workout regimen would overlook. These elementary machines are especially common within the Swartzentruber Amish communities, who are recognized for being the most traditional among all Amish affiliations. You'll encounter them being used regularly in areas such as upstate New York and certain parts of Minnesota, where some communities steadfastly maintain the most rigorous old-world traditions. A hand-cranked agitator performs exactly as its name suggests. Envision a substantial stick equipped with paddles which must be turned manually to wash clothes. It bears resemblance to churning butter, but the end product is clean laundry and unexpectedly toned arms. The elegance of these devices lies in their uncomplicated nature. No motors, no intricate parts, just reliable, old-fashioned elbow grease. Water usage associated with these agitators is rather intriguing. They generally necessitate about 10 to 12 gallons per load, consuming less water than their wringer washer counterparts. Most families employing these will possess a large water barrel adjacent to their washing station, typically gathering rainwater or water hauled up from their wells. I once paid a visit to an Amish family in Missouri who had devised a most clever arrangement. They had connected their water barrel to the roof's drainage system, establishing a natural water collection method. That's a prime example of working smarter, not harder. As for the benefits? To start, these agitators are virtually indestructible. There's scarcely anything on them susceptible to breaking, and if an issue does arise, it's usually rectifiable with basic tools. They are also exceedingly portable. Should you need to wash clothes during a camping trip, simply bring your agitator, though I doubt many Amish families are scheduling camping adventures. The true advantage rests in the level of control exerted over the washing process. One can adjust the speed and intensity based on the degree of soil on the clothes. But let's acknowledge the downsides, honestly. Employing a hand-cranked agitator feels like committing to an arm workout you never intended to perform. Following approximately 15 minutes of cranking, your arms feel poised to detach. And if you're faced with laundering clothes for a large family, well, let's just say preparing some ice for your shoulders afterward might be advisable. It's also a time-intensive process. Each load demands around 20 to 30 minutes of continuous cranking for proper cleaning. I once posed the question to an Amish grandmother about why they hadn't transitioned to a simpler method. She responded with a laugh, "Why would we need easier? We have plenty of children to assist with the cranking." This leads us to another traditional method that persists in many households, the stalwart washboard. Washboards, the original apparatus for developing abdominal muscles in the laundry domain. You'll find these ribbed marvels still diligently utilized among the most conservative Amish groups, especially within smaller settlements like the Nebraska Amish of Pennsylvania, who, somewhat ironically, do not reside in Nebraska. Some families keep them handy solely for those particularly stubborn stains that demand focused attention, akin to having a manual backup when your smartphone fails, although the Amish naturally don't face that specific predicament. A washboard may appear simple, yet there's a distinct skill involved in using one effectively. It essentially comprises a corrugated surface made of metal or glass set within a wooden frame against which clothes are rubbed to achieve cleanliness. Most Amish families who use washboards position them within large wash tubs, frequently employing a two-tub system, one for washing and another for rinsing. Each tub holds about 5 to 7 gallons of water, a quantity that might seem modest until you consider the likelihood of needing to replace this water several times during a comprehensive laundry day. Supplying water to the washboards represents its own unique challenge. Most families utilize a pump system, either manual or powered by a gas engine, to transport water from their wells to the designated wash area. Some ingenious individuals have constructed gravity-fed systems drawing from nearby springs. My personal favorite encountered was an Amish family in Indiana who had built their entire wash house on a subtle slope, harnessing gravity to aid the movement of water between the tubs. We typically only endorse one product on our channel, a book by Claude Davis, an experienced prepper covering 126 superfoods and preservation techniques from times of crisis, like the Great Depression and wartime, methods virtually unavailable elsewhere. We opted to promote his book as we belong to the last generation capable of transmitting these skills and knowledge about highly nutritious foods for crisis survival to our children or grandchildren. It would be a profound loss to see this information disappear. Additionally, a book concerning herbal remedies by Nicole Apelian is available on their store. If you're watching this broadcast on television, you can search for our channel, Frugal Solutions, using your phone or tablet and locate the books via the link provided in our channel description or any other video description. As the saying goes within the community, work smarter, make your back hurt less. Let's consider the benefits of washboard washing. Firstly, you can truly concentrate on those tenacious stains, such as when little Jacob opts to slide into home plate while dressed in his Sunday finest. You also consume less water overall compared to larger washing systems, and the maintenance requirement is practically non-existent. Moreover, you receive a substantial upper body workout without the expense of a gym membership. Some Amish women jest that a seasoned washboard user can be identified by their forearm strength. They could probably emerge victorious in any local arm wrestling competition. But the disadvantages? Oh dear, where does one even begin? Your knuckles endure a degree of punishment that would make a prize fighter wince. It's incredibly time-consuming, Washing a single shirt can necessitate 5 to 10 minutes of intense scrubbing. And recall, we're discussing families often comprising 8 or more children. The physical exertion on your back, arms, and hands is also considerable. As one Amish woman related with a chuckle, "By the conclusion of laundry day, I feel as though I've grappled with every single item of clothing, and the clothes generally emerge victorious." Speaking of prevailing in the laundry struggle, there exists a secret weapon that enhances the efficacy of all these manual washing techniques. Let's delve into the fundamental details of Amish laundry practices, their celebrated homemade soaps and stain removers. In an era where most of us simply acquire whatever is on special offer at the grocery store, Amish families are formulating cleaning solutions that would fill your great-grandmother with pride. These are not merely pleasant additions, they are absolutely indispensable when contending with everything from grass stains to grease resulting from buggy maintenance. The foundational Amish laundry soap recipe, passed down through generations, is remarkably uncomplicated. Most families commence with a base of lye, produced from wood ashes, a true example of recycling. Combined with lard or tallow, frequently obtained from their own farm animals, and water. Some enhance the mixture with borax and washing soda for augmented cleaning capability. My favorite aspect is their method of scenting soaps, not with synthetic fragrances, but utilizing herbs from their gardens like lavender, mint, or lemon balm. An Amish woman once shared her view: if you cannot pronounce the ingredients in your soap, it likely shouldn't be used for cleaning your clothes. For stain removal, they employ methods that would rival modern stain treatment products. Confronted with a grass stain, a paste of vinegar and baking soda is mixed. Grease acquired while working on farm machinery? A blend of cornstarch and hydrogen peroxide proves effective. One of their most potent treatments involves sunlight. They moisten a stained garment, rub it with their homemade soap, and allow it to rest in direct sunlight. This acts as nature's bleach, devoid of harsh chemicals. The most appealing feature of these homemade cleaners is their accessibility. Anyone can produce them. Here is a basic recipe that even a teenager could follow. Combine 1 cup of grated Castile soap, or any plain bar soap, half a cup of washing soda, and half a cup of borax. That constitutes the entire formula. For challenging stains, they create a paste using baking soda, a very small quantity of water, and a touch of vinegar. I applied this to my coffee-stained shirt just last week, and let me assure you, its performance surpassed any commercial stain remover I have ever purchased. What makes these cleaners particularly crucial for Amish families is the inherent nature of their occupations. When engaged daily in farming, furniture construction, or handling horses, one inevitably accumulates severely soiled clothing. Standard store-bought detergents often fall short when dealing with substances like sap from logging activities, oil from machinery, or that enigmatic blend of mud and manure that farm children seem to attract magnetically. As one Amish father jested, "If our soap can effectively clean a boy's clothes after a day spent assisting with calf births, it possesses the capability to clean virtually anything." Now, once your homemade soap is prepared, there's an entire established procedure for properly washing those clothes. Allow me to detail the typical progression of an average Amish laundry day. A standard Amish laundry day commences well before the roosters even consider announcing the dawn, typically around 4:30 a.m. It resembles a finely tuned dance, though instead of musical accompaniment, the rhythm is set by the splashing of water and the rhythmic squeak of washboards. Trust me, having observed this process directly, our modern throw it in the washer and forget about it approach appears almost lackadaisical in comparison. The initial step involves sorting, and this extends beyond merely separating lights and darks. Amish families customarily sort garments based on their degree of dirtiness. Regularly soiled everyday clothes, extra dirty work attire, and the "please don't inquire about the origin of that stain" pile, usually comprising the children's play clothes. Each category receives tailored treatment, with the most heavily soiled items undergoing a thorough pre-soak in warm water combined with their homemade soap mixture. An Amish mother once remarked to me, "If you don't pre-soak little David's trousers, they could likely stand upright independently." The washing process itself is quite intriguing. They begin with the least soiled items, generally Sunday church garments, and progressively work towards the farm work clothes. Processing each load takes approximately 30 to 45 minutes from beginning to end. The clothes are scrubbed, agitated, either mechanically or by hand, wrung out, rinsed thoroughly at least twice, and wrung out once more. It's analogous to a spa treatment for clothing, albeit significantly more strenuous. A large Amish family, perhaps numbering 8 to 10 individuals, typically generates around 15 to 20 loads of laundry weekly. Most families conduct laundry operations twice per week, customarily on Mondays and Thursdays. The washing usually takes place within a dedicated wash house or a designated section of the barn, effectively isolating the water and soap from the main living area. Some families have even ingeniously installed pulley systems to facilitate the movement of heavy water buckets, embodying the principle of work smarter, not harder. An interesting detail: while they do separate light and dark items, as no one desires gray-tinged white shirts, their greater concern lies with fabric type rather than color. Denim is laundered separately because its robust nature can be harsh on other fabrics. Wool receives special attention due to its propensity to shrink. And those simple cotton dresses and shirts, fundamental elements of Amish clothing, are washed together regardless of their color, as the dyes utilized rarely cause bleeding. The entire process for a family's laundry can span anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, and this duration assumes the assistance of several individuals. It's about more than just achieving clean clothes. An Amish grandmother once explained to me, "It's about imparting to the young ones the value of work and the importance of properly caring for our possessions." But how do they manage to dry all these freshly laundered clothes without consuming even a single watt of electricity? Allow me to introduce the Amish clothes drying system. It's genuinely a breath of fresh air. While the majority of us are occupied with pressing buttons on our dryers, Amish families are engaged in what could arguably be the world's most environmentally friendly method of drying clothes: the traditional clothesline. However, don't let its apparent simplicity mislead you. There's an entire methodology involved that would earn the respect of a meteorologist. Clotheslines within Amish communities are as prevalent as solar panels in modern neighborhoods. They are ubiquitous. Most families maintain multiple lines installed in their yards, usually providing a total of 100 to 200 feet of line space. This might initially seem like an overabundance until you realize they are drying clothing for 8 to 10 individuals simultaneously. The lines are strategically positioned to maximize exposure to both morning and afternoon sun, and they are typically located a sufficient distance from unpaved roads to minimize dust accumulation, because repeating the washing process is an undesirable outcome for anyone. The Amish have honed the skill of interpreting weather signs to identify the optimal drying conditions. They seek what they refer to as good drying weather, characterized by a combination of sunshine, a gentle breeze, and low humidity levels. Are you aware that they can often predict rainfall with greater accuracy than your smartphone's weather forecast? They observe indicators such as the pattern of smoke rising from chimneys, the way leaves turn on trees, and even the behavior of their horses. An Amish farmer once shared this piece of wisdom: when the crickets' chirping becomes unusually loud, it's advisable to bring those clothes indoors quickly. But what happens during the winter months? This is where their resourcefulness becomes particularly apparent. Some families utilize large indoor drying racks set up in their basements or attics. Others string lines within their wash houses, leveraging the residual heat produced by their water heating stoves. My personal favorite winter solution was observed with an Amish family in Michigan. They constructed a dedicated drying room adjacent to their kitchen, utilizing the heat generated from cooking activities to assist in drying clothes. That's a prime example of efficient multitasking. The comparison with modern dryers reveals significant contrasts. While electric dryers can potentially damage fabric fibers and cause shrinkage, line drying actually contributes to the longevity of clothing. Additionally, Sunlight serves as a natural bleaching and disinfecting agent, while the breeze functions as nature's own fabric softener. The sole minor inconvenience is that line-dried clothes might initially feel somewhat stiff, but as one Amish woman humorously remarked, "A bit of stiffness in your clothes helps maintain proper posture during church services." Weather-related difficulties demand inventive solutions. If rain begins abruptly, and believe me, it almost invariably seems to occur when you have multiple loads of laundry hanging, a frantic rush typically ensues to bring everything indoors. It's reminiscent of a family fire drill, but instead of stopping, dropping, and rolling, the sequence involves grabbing, folding, and running. During winter storms, clothes might hang indoors drying for several days, transforming their homes into what one Amish child cleverly described as a clothes forest. And here's an element you might not anticipate. The aroma of these naturally dried clothes is utterly remarkable, though that constitutes an entirely separate narrative. Contemporary detergent companies invest substantial resources attempting to replicate that incredible fresh air scent associated with line-dried Amish laundry. You know the mountain fresh fragrance promoted on detergent packaging? Well, in comparison to the authentic article, its genuineness is comparable to that of a plastic Christmas tree. The secret underlying that extraordinary Amish laundry aroma doesn't reside in elaborate perfumes or chemical compositions. It lies in the ideal blend of sun, wind, and those previously mentioned homemade soaps. As clothes dry outdoors, they naturally undergo a deodorizing process. The ultraviolet rays emitted by the sun eliminate bacteria, the very agents responsible for unpleasant clothing odors, while the gentle breeze infuses the fabric with the scents of the natural surroundings. An Amish woman laughed when I inquired about this, stating, "Why would we desire our clothes to smell like an artificial mountain when we possess genuine grass and flowers right here?" Here's a fascinating aspect. The scent actually fluctuates with the changing seasons. In spring, clothes acquire the fragrance of apple blossoms and fresh grass. Summer introduces hints of wildflowers and hay. Autumn contributes a crisp, leafy note. And winter? Well, winter-dried clothes possess an incredibly clean, sharp aroma that no synthetic fragrance has ever successfully captured. As my Amish friend Mary articulates it, every season has its unique perfume, and it's perpetually free. What enhances this phenomenon further is the manner in which different materials absorb these natural scents. Cotton, the primary material for most Amish clothing, functions like a scent sponge, readily absorbing all those delightful outdoor fragrances. Linens develop an exceptional crispness. Even those heavy work garments return indoors smelling wonderful, although one Amish father joked, "Allow my boys an hour in the barn and they'll quickly rectify that." The contrast with modern laundry methods is quite stark. Commercial detergents strive to impart a clean smell by coating clothes with artificial fragrances, which frequently trigger allergies and headaches. These synthetic scents can be so potent they clash with personal perfumes or induce sneezing. Conversely, the natural scent of Amish line-dried laundry is subtle and genuinely clean. It's the kind of freshness that inspires an urge to bury one's face in a pile of warm sheets freshly removed from the line. I once brought home pillowcases that I had washed and dried at an Amish friend's residence. That evening, my husband inquired about the new fabric softener I was using, attributing the pleasant aroma of the pillows to it. When I explained it was simply the effect of sun, wind, and basic soap, he found it difficult to accept. Speaking of simple elements, wait until you learn about the materials from which these clothes are crafted. If you find the choice between cotton and polyester complex, just wait until you hear about Amish clothing materials. Their wardrobe choices are driven not merely by style, although the black hats and bonnets are certainly iconic, but by considerations of practicality, durability, and some exceptionally astute fabric selections that add an intriguing layer to laundry day. Cotton serves as the cornerstone of Amish clothing, but not just any variety. They typically employ a heavyweight, durable cotton reminiscent of fabrics worn by your great-grandparents, rather than the thin t-shirt material common today. For everyday dresses and shirts, they frequently use a cotton broadcloth so resilient it could likely endure a tornado. An Amish woman once remarked with a grin, "If our dresses possessed any greater toughness, they'd likely rise up and launder themselves." Work clothes represent an entirely different domain. Men's work trousers and shirts are generally constructed from heavy-duty cotton twill or denim, robust enough to withstand the rigors of farm labor while remaining breathable. An interesting fact: these materials actually become softer and more comfortable with each wash, unlike contemporary fast fashion items, which tend to deteriorate after just 5 laundry cycles. As one Amish farmer stated, "My work pants are older than some of my children, and I happen to have 8 kids." For special occasions, wool enters the picture, especially in men's suits and winter attire. This introduces unique laundry challenges, as wool demands careful handling to prevent shrinkage. I once heard an anecdote about a young Amish man who attempted to wash his own suit, only to end up with a garment that would have fit his 10-year-old brother. Consequently, wool washing is treated as a specialized skill, meticulously passed down through generations. The comprehensive laundry list for an Amish family is rather impressive. Everyday dresses and aprons for the women and girls, plain shirts and trousers for the men and boys, Sunday best clothing, work clothes, night clothes, undergarments, stockings, handkerchiefs, bonnets, and those famous black hats, which, incidentally, rarely necessitate washing and are simply brushed clean. Each type of garment requires its own specific washing treatment. Herein lies the true ingenuity. They select materials that ultimately simplify the laundry process in the long run. Their fabrics are chosen not only for modesty and durability, but also based on how effectively they clean. Dark colors better conceal stains, a practical consideration when working on a farm, and natural fibers generally release dirt more readily than synthetics, although, as one Amish teenager lamented while struggling with a grass-stained dress, "Sometimes I wish we could wear those exercise clothes that just wipe clean." And when undertaking the task of washing clothes for a large Amish family, believe me, you seize every possible advantage. Doing laundry for a substantial Amish family isn't just a routine task, it's practically an athletic endeavor. Allow me to present the statistics, and you'll understand their early start on laundry day. An average Amish family of 10, a size not uncommon, typically processes about 15 to 20 loads of laundry each week. This translates to roughly 60 to 80 individual pieces of clothing per day. Here's a concise breakdown. Each person usually possesses approximately 6 to 7 everyday outfits, 1 or 2 sets of Sunday best attire, plus night clothes and undergarments. Performing the calculation reveals around 70 items per person requiring regular washing. For a family of 10, this amounts to 700 pieces of clothing in constant rotation. It's no surprise, then, that laundry is a collaborative family activity. The responsibility typically falls upon the mother and daughters, with younger girls beginning to assist around the age of 8 or 9. They function as teams. While one individual washes, another rinses, and yet another hangs the clothes to dry. It operates like a well-coordinated mechanism, or as one Amish mother humorously described it, "We represent the original assembly line." A typical laundry day commences at dawn and can extend until mid-afternoon, involving approximately 8 to 9 hours of continuous washing, rinsing, wringing, and hanging. As one Amish grandmother astutely observed, by the time you finish washing the final load, the first child has already managed to get dirty enough to necessitate another wash. And this explains their practice of doing laundry twice weekly, to keep pace with the unending cycle of clean clothes essential for their busy, hard-working families.